Hello, everyone. You are all welcome to the first international workshop on Metaverse and Industry. It is my pleasure to welcome you all to this maiden edition. My name is Dr. Cosmas Ifeanyi Wakama, and I'm the team lead for Metaverse research in Africa and Nigeria. The chief host of this event is the director of the center, Professor Dong-Sung Kim. This event has the following objective. The first is we want to answer the simple question, what is Metaverse? It is our hope and expectation that at the end of this event, the answer to this question will be glaring to all. In fact, from the reply we've been receiving since we sent the invitation for this conference, it is clear that we actually need to answer this question, what is Metaverse? We also hope that at the end of this event, we are going to create an industry academic experience sharing opportunity where we want to see what the industry as well as the academics are doing with respect to Metaverse. The workshop is also going to be an offshoot of research and product development efforts, especially with respect to establishing links between our institution here in Korea, that is the Kumoh National Institute of Technology, Gumi, with Nigeria, leveraging on 3 higher institutions. Specifically, we are going to be collaborating, and we hope to be collaborating with University of Ilorin in Ilorin, Nigeria, Benson Idahosa University, Benin City, Edo State, Nigeria, and Babcock University, Elisha Remo in Ogun State. This is because one person or one center or one university cannot do everything about Metaverse. So we hope that with these 3 institutions, we'll be able to prosecute this research in the next couple of months and years, as the case may be. Make this event what it's supposed to be, we have established little ground rules. The ground rule, we must have observed that in coming to this workshop, all of you are already muted. This is not a mistake, it is intentional because this workshop is going to have about 420 persons going by the register we have so far. And the only way to ensure that it is not a rowdy session is to mute everyone. However, if you have questions, if you have things you want to ask, you can always use the chat box. The secretariat will always copy out your questions and will provide answers to them all. Like I said before, this event is being chaired by Professor Dong-Sung Kim. As you can see his information on the screen. He is the director of the center, and he is currently the director of the ICT Convergence Research Center, and also the director of Industry Academic Cooperation, Kumoh National Institute of Technology, Owerri. He is also the founder, through the institution, he is also the founder of Creativia Company, LS Lab Corporation Company, who are also a company that is being produced as a result of the research efforts of the Network System Laboratory. The workshop team is made up of myself, like I have said before, and my colleagues, Gabriel and Unjoku Chinyere. You can also understand when we say the event is meant to establish Korean-Nigerian cooperation. So don't be surprised when you see virtually almost all the faces and names are Nigerians. It is intentional and it is meant to achieve the purpose. The speakers, we are going to have myself. I will be speaking on global research trends in Metaverse. What are different countries and different places talking about Metaverse? Gabriel is going to be talking about cybersecurity as well as Metaverse application to the industry. Here, Judith will be talking about Metaverse and its applicability to intelligent transport systems. Riful Islam will be talking about introduction to Metaverse. However, due to his busy schedule, Ariful Islam is in the Inje University in Korea, but he will be represented today by Ali Akhtar, who is also a researcher in Inje University. They will be talking about introduction to Metaverse. Mr. Simeon will be talking about artificial intelligence and Metaverse. Mr. Simeon is also a researcher in Kumoh National Institute of Technology, South Korea, as well as a PhD student. Mr. Xavier will be talking about blockchain and its real-time implementation, especially with respect to offline transactions. So he will be talking about blockchain. Specifically, he will be explaining one of our products on blockchain. And then we try to see where is the meeting point between blockchain and Metaverse. And like I told us before, we are grateful to the following institutions. Babcock University, we are grateful to you. University of Illinois, we are grateful to you. Benson Idahosa University, we are also grateful to you. Specifically, we want to recognize the presence of Professor Sam Bubadaya, the Vice Chancellor and the President of Benson Idahosa University. We recognize you, we appreciate your presence, and we are grateful to you and to your team. Too numerous to mention. In fact, this university is, if I start mentioning names of people from that university, we will not leave this event, because in this roster, I have about 80 persons from Benson Idahosa University. So, Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, we are grateful to your leadership. We also want to appreciate Professor Achimba Chibweze Obonna, the founding Dean, School of Science and Computing, Babcock University, for mobilizing staff and students and resource persons from Babcock University. Over 66 persons from Babcock University are already registered for this event. We also want to thank Professor Kolawole Wahab. Professor Kolawole Wahab is the Director, Center for Research Development and In-House Training Credit. He has been with us from the onset of this planning up to this stage. He has also helped us to mobilize persons from civil engineering, Dr. Adeleke, and also Dr. Akitola from computer science. They have been resourceful to making this event what it's supposed to be. So without much ado, I want to give the floor to the first item on our agenda, that is a short clip about the laboratory, and to have you have a proper understanding of what the lab is all about and our products. After that, we go to the first lecture of today by Ali Akhtar.
Today, non-face-to-face contact has become the norm. Social and economic activities are also changing to non-face-to-face digital socialization in line with changes in our daily lives. The non-face-to-face digital society is in full swing, and the metaverse is considered to be at the core of the non-face-to-face digital industry. The metaverse is emerging as a new paradigm that will lead to the fourth industrial revolution era and spread into all fields, such as music, education, culture, and manufacturing. It is growing so rapidly that its global market worth is estimated to reach $540 trillion by 2025, and that of the exhibition market at $270 billion, or 328.77 trillion Korean won. NS Lab Company Limited represents differentiated technology, more advanced technological competitiveness, systematic organizational structure, excellent management processes, and smooth communication with customers. We are NS Lab. NS Lab develops special-purpose software, plans metaverse exhibitions, and provides technological consulting. It predicts demand and offers advanced services through a systematic organizational structure and professional manpower for each function. NS Lab has been recognized for its expertise through ceaseless R&D, covering the technological prowess of researchers and developers, expertise in high-definition exhibition planning, and technical consulting. As a result, NS Lab has established itself in the field for its competitiveness. NS Lab's outstanding technological strength and competitiveness are developing further through a network with various public institutions, including the Small and Medium Business Corporation, the Korea Environment Corporation, and the Korea Rural Community Corporation, local governments, and various private companies, such as Hanwha Systems and LGU+. With regards to existing metaverse-based exhibition platforms, NS Lab has precisely understood that the user interaction service technology is very weak and non-diversified, creating the Creativia in response through R&D. The 5G Business Network Demonstration Center in Creativia is a space to view the 5G exhibition hall located at the Industry Academy Corporation Foundation of the Kumoh National Institute of Technology online to promote the content and outcome of the 28 GHz National Business Network Demonstration Project. It provides an AI camera, industry academia cooperation platform, a VDI virtual desktop, and a real-time remote lecture space. LIG Next One, which is conducting research related to the development of its own process system and smart factory with the ICT Convergence Research Center, unveiled the ship defense system, which was recently developed and successfully localized through the PR Center in Creativia. Hanwha Systems, which is developing a ship combat system using DDS with the ICT Convergence Research Center, modeled and is exhibiting ships and ship consoles. The LGU Plus Corporate PR Center embodies the smart factory-related services among the various services of LGU Plus and is preparing for the follow-up project, the 5G 28 GHz National Business Network. The L2 and L3 switches, researched with the ICT Convergence Research Center and produced by PioLink, a Korean company, are mounted on the ROKS Jongbogo SS61 to transmit data smoothly during operations and drills and respond to cyber attacks. Creativia provides differentiated service technologies for users, such as the search service that supports searches using synonyms and multiple keywords, the payment system that supports payment inside the exhibition hall, the certification of ownership of digital creations and profit distribution through the combination of digital creations and NFTs. Pure Wallet is a blockchain-based mobile electronic wallet system that supports offline payments and safe and simple payment services, even in environments with insufficient internet infrastructure. The digital society is spreading to all fields, including domestic and foreign technology trading markets, online education and content markets, and trade and entertainment markets in the virtual space. With these technologies and services, we promise to find business channels through the one-on-one customized matching service provided by NS Lab, and make you the leader of the latest trends in the metaverse sector and the IT technology with NS Lab. We are NS Lab Company.
Thank you very much. Now we want to save time. We want to go to Ali Akhtar. Ali Akhtar is going to be the first presenter. He'll be speaking on Introduction to Metaverse. Ali Akhtar, over to you. Ali Akhtar is from National University.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
And you can see my screen also?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay. Thank you all. Thank you for providing me opportunity to present this topic here. This is Ali Akhtar. I'm basically from Pakistan and I am a research scholar at NJ University. Thank you so much again. So firstly, I would like to elaborate the content of our presentation, which include introduction, history of Metaverse, technologies of Metaverse, importance of Metaverse. Then we will have benefits of Metaverse, top joints in Metaverse. Then we will see the future of Metaverse. And at the end, we will see the conclusion of this presentation of Metaverse. So firstly, we would like to move to the introduction part. Then recent advances in technology are rapidly changing the way we are interact with the physical world around us. Metaverse is a virtual shared space that everyone can access. It is a catch-all term that refers to the entire digital and virtual world. The metaverse is the next step in the internet evolution. Metaverse is defined as collection of technology gadgets and the metaverse connected to IoT, blockchain, artificial intelligence, and all the other tech industries, including the medical area. The term actually metaverse was coined in 1992 by the science fiction writer Neil Stephenson. Its most basic definition referred to as the concept of fully immersive virtual world where people gather to socialize, play, and work. It is simulated digital environment that combines augmented reality, virtual reality, blockchain, and social media principle to create areas for rich user interaction that imitate the real world. To quickly define the meaning of metaverse, we must think of the three-dimensional web powered by virtual reality and augmented reality. Metaverse is consistent. It means that it exists regardless of the user physical presence. It is infinite, supports countless contemporary user and VR world, self-sustaining. A user can even within the metaverse and pay for their utilities. Then interoperability, real time, It helps user to move their virtual items, including their avatars, from one metaverse project to another. We will see a little bit introduction of avatars also in the next slides. Then we will have a little bit overview of the history of metaverse. The metaverse is not new. The technology behind the latest immersive experience has been building for years. Find out more about the history of the metaverse. Unofficially, it is all started back in 1938 when the scientist Sir Charles Wheatstone outlined the concept of binocular vision, where you combine two images, one of each eye, to make a single 3D image. And this concept led to the development of stereoscopes, technology where you use an illusion of depth to create the image. This is the same concept used today in modern VR headsets. It's real start from the year of 1989 by invented World Wide Web. And this is the overview of the overall history of metaverse. We try to summarize in a diagram. Then if we see the technologies in the metaverse, so there are four main types of technologies which consisting the metaverse. It include communication, computing infrastructure, fundamental technology. Then we have virtual reality object connection. At the end, we will see the virtual reality space convergence. Now we will see one by one all of these technologies. Firstly, we have communication computing infrastructure. The manufacturing field has been evolving rapidly with the help of IoT technology, and Metaverse core stream also working as an IoT device. According to our study, 43% of manufacturing companies revealed that VR will become the mainstream in their organization within the next 2 or 3 years. They are also working on the industrial application rather than consumer software. Metaverse is the next version of the internet now. They are already using 5G and 6G for development of their infrastructures. Next, we have second technology, which is fundamental technology. In fundamental technology, the metaverse is defined as the virtual space where user can interact with 3D digital object and 3D virtual avatars of each other in complex manner that mimic the real world hold things developed using artificial intelligence technique. We found 5 use case AI technique of the metaverse, and actually avatar is a virtual representation of user, and it is driven by the user movement in the virtual world, not in the real world. So we depict the user as an avatar in our virtual world. Next, thirdly, we have virtual reality object connection, identity modeling, digital identity, and the personalization in the metaverse are your unique avatar. Every person has unique avatar in the virtual reality in the metaverse. With the rise of Web 3.0, crypto wallets will also play a vital role in defining our identity. In a wallet, we might find traces of someone's gaming preferences and love for digital art. These unique avatars play a way to give your digital identity visual representation in 3D world. They are your identity in the metaverse. Then next we have virtual reality space convergence. In metaverse, it's also called extended reality because it consisting of all the other virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality, human and machine interaction made real and virtual combined environment, which are called extended reality. Virtual reality, augmented reality, and mixed reality is the main 3 branches of extended reality. Extended reality is one of the core part of metaverse technology. VR maker must expand their content ecosystem to include compelling games, films, education, and live events to attract and retain the customers. Then we have artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, all widely applicable in our daily lives, business automation, strategies, planning, facial recognition, faster computing, and much more. Likewise, AI has enabled the creation of the general niche. AI is adding values to the metaverse in many ways. These ways like data preprocessing and management have become the easy and faster with AI. For gaming in the metaverse, AI empowers the non-player characters in different instances, improving their actions and interactions. Next, we have AI technology analyzes 3D scans and images to generate more realistic avatars that align with the real participants. Then the technology is also crucial to make the entire metaverse process more dynamic so that user experience it's enhancing every time they enter the space. Next, if we see the AR and VR, these two technologies are entirely entry points to virtual world. Metaverse or similar digital space, but what's the difference between VR and AR? AR actually utilize visual elements and graphical characteristics to morph the real world. AR-based application allow user to view their surroundings through attractive digital visuals close to what we enjoy in games like AR Dragon and Pokemon Go. Anyone within the digital device and a smart camera can access AR applications. Next, in VR, if we see, differ much from AR and it resemble metaverse concept. It create a complete computer generated digital world that user can explore using VR headset, gloves, and digital sensors. These technologies are becoming more mature with the time and may redefine our digital experience in the future. AR and VR have produced much hype that they encourage big tech giants to invest in the equipment development to accommodate forensic and metaverse projects. Next, if we see the importance of metaverse, so firstly, if we see the infrastructure, first element of development, the metaverse is the foundational infrastructure with the connectivity technologies connection. Next, we have human interface. Metaverse needs a human interface component facilitated by the different technologies to make it to reality. Then a property of metaverse is decentralization. There should be any specific entity that could control the metaverse, just like nobody controls the physical world. Next, special computing. Special computing would be the required to create sophisticated 3D visualization and modeling framework to create the 3D world. Then creator economy, the most crucial differentiator for the metaverse from other digital environment would be the development of the creator economy. Next, another crucial aspect that would define the future stages of metaverse growth is the element of discovery. And the last, we have final element, which will be the highlighted of metaverse future is the wide range of experience user can have by using metaverse. Then if we see the application or the benefits of metaverse, so there are many benefits like it is useful to addressing the remote work challenges. User can work from their homes. Like in pandemics, it was difficult to go physically. So by virtually, you can attend different your work task and meetings. Metaverse has the potential to address all the existing challenges to remote work, provide manager with the virtual environment where they can meet employees, communicate with them and their body language and retain in-person interactions. Next is the great tool of healthcare. In the field of healthcare, metaverse is a boon tool for healthcare professionals and medical staff who were previously unable to visit patients due to the geographical limitations. Now they can use Metaverse. In gamings, they can use Metaverse. Most Metaverse games are decentralized with the integrated economic model to support play to earn gaming. Then it can also provide the experience of virtual tours if someone is unable to go any different part of the world. They can use Metaverse to have a trip in the another part of the world. Then we have monetization of benefits. Some are development enthusiasts looking to use the ecosystem to build their business specific projects, and other are looking for opportunities to generate incomes. Also, there are many fields that in future people gonna help and gonna be benefited by using the Metaverse. Then if we see the industry, there are many top giants who are using and who are planning to use the technology of Metaverse. In these giants are like firstly Alphabet. Google is a tech giant pouring fund into creating another growth unit. And then we see Facebook, Meta, leader in social media and owner of Oculus virtual reality platform. They are investing in the Metaverse technology. And then with NVIDIA powering all the things technology and not missing out on the next growth opportunity. Then we have Roblox, online gaming platform that will leverage Metaverse for more immersive community. Then we have Snap, which is already uses augmented reality for its social platforms. Snapchats we are using, and then we have Microsoft incorporating Metaverse features for its current platform and recently acquired Activation Blizzards. Then we have Adobe Systems, a powerful cloud-based graphics company that can help many companies like NVIDIA can move to the Metaverse. Next, we have what is the future of Metaverse. The future of Metaverse also spans on an idea of running openly, almost without any interruptions from a single community or company. And the participation of creator will be the form of all across the world, as more brands are looking and coming to join to open their outlets on the broader Metaverse, just like on the internet on the current times. Then we have conclusion of our little bit introduction that Metaverse is not a dream anymore. It's now coming to reality, and our real world is getting more virtual in the coming days due to this technology. With time, virtual reality will develop and will take our experience to a new level. Then many people will get employment through this technology, and millions will get a new technical wonder to experience. Every technology has its own negative and positive also. You can figure out them what it will come to the reality in the future. Yeah, thank you so much for listening me. That's all from my side.
Thank you so much, Ali Akhtar. We are happy to have you. So we encourage you to still hold on so we can go through the chat and see if there are questions dropped there, then we can answer them.
Sure.
We have the first person here, Mr. Dania. Mr. Dania is asking, Metaverse is also called an extended reality, and the slide shown that extended reality is a combined form of VR, AR, and MR.
Yeah.
VR and AR are explained, but what about MR?
Yeah, MR is mixed reality. So it can, in mixed reality, we use AR and VR together.
Good.
Yeah, it's a mixed reality.
Okay, yeah. So I want to also explain, Mr. Dania, it is not technically correct to say that metaverse is directly called extended reality. Rather, you can say that extended reality is one of the enabling technologies of metaverse. Extended reality is one of the enabling technologies of metaverse. You cannot say that they are used interchangeably. They are enabling technologies of metaverse. Okay, Mr. Ali, another person is asking, we have another question from Alexandria Esimaji. Oh, Prof. She said, thank you, Mr. Ali. Can you explain what you mean by creator economy?
Yeah. A creator economy consists of people who are just like us and have a hobby that become monetizable for platform. They are the tool that allow creator to make an income from doing what they love. Yeah, since we publish our, yeah, like they, creators are the people like us and just like us, and they have a hobby that what they love, and they become monetizable.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
in a simple word, Professor, creator economy is just the same thing as monetization of the roles one got to play in metaverse. We know that in real life, everybody wants to create value out of whatever they do. So we're also saying if metaverse is a duplicate of the real life, and if people actually create wealth in real life, people should be able to create wealth in the third world, in the next world, or in the metaverse world, just like that. Now, Mr. Ali, somebody want to know the negative side of metaverse. Is there any disadvantages of metaverse?
Yeah, there should be. Like if we see, I have told that in metaverse, like you don't need to sometime go to the physically, you don't need to attend the conference or any meeting. So people can be like little bit lazy, like they will not be like willing to participate in their physical meetings. They will say that we can participate in it virtually, so we don't need to go as physically, so they can be lazy, and it will actually decrease the like interest of their lives. And yeah. And one more thing is that in medical field, like if we see maybe it can be the result of the in medical, like doctors do surgeries, and that is not as perfect as it is in the physical field, I think. So it should be like, we will see how it goes in the future. Yeah.
I also want to assure the person who asks questions on the applicability of metaverse. The subsequent speakers also will address different applicable areas of metaverse. So what Ali is supposed to do was to make sure that the least person in this workshop can go home and say, I now can define metaverse. That is the aim of Mr. Ali. His aim is to make sure that the least person that is hearing metaverse for the first time got to understand the meaning of the word metaverse. For the more complicated issues about metaverse, the subsequent speakers will keep building on the foundation he has set up. Somebody is asking here from Emmanuel Ogu. He said, at what stages does transformative technologies like metaverse progressing to go beyond? So what? Mr. Emmanuel, I think your question is good, but if you follow the research trend of metaverse, he said this is a journey for the future. So we may not have any answer for you for now. It's just like when the internet began. When internet started, internet have to just start. When it starts, then research works and governments and different countries will start putting into action, enabling regulatory environment. So for now, metaverse is just a disruptive technology, and a disruptive technology just have to disrupt, whether you like it or not. It has come to stay, it has to go. And when it goes through, different governments of different countries will now start taking measures according to their own peculiar national needs. So it may be premature for us to be able to give any direct answer about regulatory issues with respect to metaverse. Somebody's asking, how can metaverse enhance transactions, particularly fintech? sorry, we've answered that when we talk about creator economy. Creator economy, because fintech is nothing but just IT applicable to finance. So in Metaverse, when you talk about things like NFT and the rest of them, or you talk about exchange of wealth in the Metaverse, the idea is that if Metaverse research simply means whatever research you are doing in the real world, you want to find a place in the Metaverse world. Somebody is asking about the relationship between Metaverse and VR. VR is simply an enabling technology to Metaverse. Mr. Okoro is asking, as of today, big developers have built their game economy in a way that is conducive to So don't you think business will need to invest in producing virtual world and assets, which is terribly expensive? Nothing is expensive for the big tech companies. Nothing is expensive for the big tech companies. Otherwise, Microsoft will not be putting money into Metaverse. Otherwise, NVIDIA will not be putting money into Metaverse. Otherwise, Microsoft, NVIDIA, even Facebook have transformed themselves to Meta. In Korea, you are going to hear the next speaker is going to tell you some of the companies, even in Korea, who have put in heavy money into Metaverse. So it is not a dream anymore. And if it is too expensive, these companies will not be putting their money into it. They see the future, and because they have seen the future, they are willing to put their money in the future they can see. So somebody is asking, how do you manage security issues in Metaverse? If you check our program, that is the next presentation tomorrow. So try and be around tomorrow. You don't miss out. So what we want to do now, so when you say no big developers, it may not be expressly correct if you say no big developers. A lot of investment have gone into Metaverse, and you're going to hear that from subsequent presenters. Korea has spent so much money even in Metaverse. Otherwise, I will not be here benefiting from the fund of Metaverse and presenting this workshop to you. All right, so let's prepare ourselves for the next presenter. The next presenter is going to talk about Metaverse and its applicability to manufacturing. So my colleagues in engineering, maybe this may interest you. So we're going to listen to Mr. Gabriel Amizu. He's going to present Metaverse applicability to manufacturing. If you check your mail, you will see the program, all we are going to discuss. So sometimes you may have to keep your questions for another session so that your question will not be a little bit premature for the next session. So Mr. Gabriel Amizu, you have the floor.
Yeah, good day, everyone. Good day, everyone. My name is Gabriel Amizu, a research assistant at the ICT Convergence Research Center, Kumoh National University here in Gumi, South Korea. Having had a brief introduction to what Metaverse is as a concept and a topic, I will be taking us on its applicability to manufacturing. We're going to be looking at ways in which the various technologies we've heard from this previous speaker has aided us to envision a world where Metaverse will be used in manufacturing. So this is our content for today. First of all, we'll have a brief overview of what manufacturing is. Then we'll look at manufacturing amidst a pandemic like COVID-19, how it affected manufacturing and what we can draw from it. Then the journey so far will take us through the various elements of Metaverse, how they've been applied to manufacturing. Then I will show you a case study of one of the big car manufacturing industry and the tech giants, BMW and NVIDIA coming together to create what they call the factory of the future. Then we'll draw our conclusions from there. So what is manufacturing? Manufacturing is simply fabrication or assembly of components into finished products on a very large scale. Now, manufacturing is in so many industries. We can find it in the automobile industry, the aviation industry, in chemical industry, and heavy machinery industries, because all these are kind of subset of manufacturing industries. Manufacturing industry didn't just start today. We've gone through it has gone through so many industrial revolution. The first industrial revolution, which was the birth of mechanization. We had our steam plants and all that in 1784. Then the second industrial revolution was when electrification was a thing. That was when we started having mass production, started having assembly lines. Automation never came until the third industrial revolution. Then we started having automated factories and automated industries and things like that. Then we have our computers and electronics. That was in 1969. Then right now we are currently in the industrial, the I 4.0 era, which is the era of digitization, or where we're moving towards. So this has been aided by things like cyber physical system and the Internet of Things, the networks. So before we can go further, we have to know what the concept of smart manufacturing is. Smart manufacturing is smart manufacturing is any manufacturing method that improves its performance with integrated and intelligent use of processes and resources. Now, there has been so many evolution. Now, we can look at the evolution from conventional to smart manufacturing as in the initial stage, there was a huge emphasis on manpower. But gradually, while the emphasis on manpower in manufacturing is going down, the emphasis on knowledge and experience in manufacturing comes up. So what we can say is, in the initial industrial revolutions, we had humans working as machines, but now we are now having machines learning to work as humans. Now, there have been some driving factors to this. We have the industrial IoT, we have big data, we have cloud computing, and we have AI. All these technologies have tended to drive us from a human-focused manufacturing into a machine-focused manufacturing, where machine learn to work as humans. So why do we need smart manufacturing? For us to answer this question, we have to see the difference between conventional and smart manufacturing. Conventional can be traditional manufacturing. So in smart manufacturing, there's diverse resources. Now, diverse resources is just simply that in smart manufacturing, it is technically easy for you to switch between production lines. Like you can produce different products at the same time using different resources. But in conventional, it's all about mass production. Remember the industry 1.0 we talked about. It's all about mass production. We want to produce this computer chip. We produce only this computer chip in a large quantity. We cannot change our factory to produce computer chip and probably produce a mouse or a keyboard or something at the same time. So smart manufacturing has deep convergence, meaning that each parts are related to each other. There's communication. When there's a breakdown here, the other one takes up. But in conventional manufacturing, the layers are really separated. That is, I would say the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing. In smart manufacturing, things are self-organized. We have control is split among various resources. So one of the basic example of this is, for example, you have this production line, and along the way something gets spoiled. A smart manufacturing can be able to correct itself, but a conventional manufacturing has to be shut down and the correction done manually. Then smart manufacturing mixes of big data because it's interconnected with everything. The factory is connected. But in conventional manufacturing, we have isolated information. We have independent control. Each system is controlled independently. There's no Then big data, isolated information, then dynamic routing. Dynamic routing is there should be routes linked that can easily enable us to switch from one production line to the other. But conventional manufacturing, through the mass production route that is taken, the routing is fixed. For you to change any production line, you have to stop everything totally and redraw the line of production. So there are some benefits of smart manufacturing. It reduces costs, it enhances productivity. Data is automated, things can be done on their own without the factory manager being there some of the times. Then there's worker safety, like since we bring in more of robots and more of intelligence into the work, we can easily detect as incidents in the factory. And of course, we can detect defects and improve quality. Now we'll look at COVID during manufacturing during COVID. So during COVID, the pandemic affected three key things: production, demand, and supply chains. And these three things are the key that underpins what a successful production or a successful manufacturing line should be. There has to be adequate enough production, there has to be adequate enough demand, and the supply chain has to be robust. Earlier last year, we did a survey on this effect on pandemic by looking at some factory staffs in about 6 different countries, and they all came up with a simple answer each time, that a manufacturing that is immune to pandemic has to be fully digitalized. That's why I told you we're now moving from smart factory to digital factories. We are moving from the smart era to the digital era where everything is digitalized. Now, for us to have an adequate digital factory, there are 2 things that we need: a digital production line and a digital supply chain. For a digital production line has 3 things that it brings together: the business, the design, and the operation of the organization. Before now, these things are seen as different aspects, like the business is different, the design is different, and operations is different. Probably we have different people heading them. But what the digital production line entails is we have to bring these 3 components together with the sole aim of improving the production process. Now, there are some features of this. Now, we have robots working hand in hand with humans in a safe and conducive environment. There's an ease of bringing in new design. You must have heard of additive manufacturing, where we don't have to go through a ton of hurdles for us to produce things. This is because we're using a digital production line. Then the factory managers. The factory managers are able to use most of these technologies because now we're now making them in UIs. We're now making good user interface, simplifying it, making it easy for factory workers to work from one place to another, holding a gadget or something and monitoring so many things. That is the aim. Then connectivity, we're connecting the factory floor to the cloud, and the cloud does all the processing, gets back the data. It is transparent and agile, then predictive rather than preventive. So there are some steps taken for us to go truly digital in terms of production line. First of all, we have to reinforce the physical deployment by bringing in sensors and actuators, such as, like I said, the robots in the factory. Then we have to set up a cluster in the cloud to analyze data, because when you have these so many sensors on the factory floor, there's so many data, and the factory might not have enough power to process those data. So you set up a cluster in the cloud for this data to be processed. Now we move the historical production data and the current production data to the cloud. This data is now processed in the cloud, computed, and is sent back to the factory manager, where it can visualize the insights and the key performance indicators. This slide might be long, but I want to take out 3 things from this slide: predictive rather than preventive, the user interface, and the visualize. We'll be coming back to that in a bit. Then supply chains. Supply chain is just the advanced technologies that make stakeholders know where something is at a particular time, from the point of production to the delivery point. What this system does is it collects, analyzes data, and provide timely, visible information to each partner in the chain. So, for example, I'll just give a brief example of this. A clothing store using a digital supply chain, just with a glance of the phone, can know how many, not the phone, any device anyway, a clothing store can easily tell how many, for example, blue jeans they have in stock, how many jeans is being produced by each manufacturer, and how many are coming on the way. Like, you can track all this, and this enables each of the stakeholder to know if there will be a delay in terms of delivery, or if there will be a delay from their part in terms of supply. So the other person can be able to factor in those details. So this is what a normal production line will look like. We have you start your production, the OEE, the operator, the operating equipment effectiveness. You check that, then you start production. Just give me a minute. Yeah, the OEE, you start production. You check all your equipments are working very well. They are all effective. Production starts or delivery starts at some point. There's an outage, there's a breakdown. It could be anything. It could be power outage. It could be that the item you're supposed to supply, like in this case, got broken or something. Now, this guy here who acts as a middleman or something, or a courier agency, is waiting for this thing to come on the 20th, but he has no information that is not coming on the 20th. Now, it takes up until 30 for this particular thing to arrive at his destination. That's like 10 days later. So at this stage, you don't even know if the delivery is going to be delayed. You don't know if the parts you ordered for is going to be the right parts or not the right part. Finally, if it's not the right part, you have to fix it, figure out how to fix it. So all these things are done manually. But in an ideal world, in a digital production line, we don't have all this hassle. From the point of production till the point where you fix or you receive it, everything goes just as it's supposed to go. We'll come back to this slide later. I want to explain some of what is going on here in the following slide. So the journey so far, like you heard the previous speaker, he talked about XR and the rest. So XR is an all-embracing term. It covers virtual reality, augmented reality, and mixed reality. So yeah, VR, AR, MRO, and everything that lies in between them. So with XRO and Metaverse at large, we're trying to bridge the divide between the physical and the real world. We're trying to make them seamless, work hand in hand, like D1. So let's assume this is the real world. The real world is the physical environment around us. This place I am, wherever you are, is the real world. We have this free technology I just mentioned about, and digital twin, which is the last one. We'll break them down one after the other. So VRO is, everything about VRO is completely digital. There's nothing physical in VRO. It's just a digital environment, a digital world. Now, in terms of manufacturing, there are a few things VRO can give to us. Now, these 4 cases you are seeing here are going to be constant all through the slides. I'll tell you what this can do and that cannot do. So in terms of the VRO, like I told you, everything is completely digital. There's nothing real. VRO has been used in product design and development. We have companies now, manufacturing companies, before doing any production, instead of getting a physical prototype, they have what we call digital prototype, and you can only see that with the VRO glasses. And when they conduct factory training, safety trainings, and the rest, you can put it in a digital world, and people just go there, put on the glasses, their VRO glass, and watch the trainings and what have you. So, but at the end of the day, with VRO, you are taking completely outside of the physical world, which brings us back to the accident that my colleague, the previous speaker, talked about. It takes you out of this world, and sometimes it could be addictive. Then came AR. AR, unlike VR, it's a real environment, but it's superimposed with the digital environment, with digital objects, like you've seen in those science fiction movies when things just display in the air, like just like that. That's what an AR does. A real environment, I'm here, but I can cast something on the air and see it. That's what an AR basically is. And in terms of manufacturing, of course, whatever the VRO can do, the AR glasses can do them. Product design and development, like a digital prototype, you can use it to watch training videos, and you can factory, because the factory is a complicated place. There are some processes that you want these factory workers to go through that you cannot really allow them go through it in the physical world. Sometimes it exposes them to danger. But when you immerse them in this digital world, especially something like an AR, they can be able to go through those processes easily without you spending money on probably extra resources to train them. Like when I mean resources, I mean the raw materials or something, or experiencing an accident in the factory. Then, of course, with AR, there's communication and collaboration. You can see instance in terms of communication and collaboration. We're talking about when you use this AR to get back data that is sent in from the cloud using digital twin. We'll get to that in a bit also. Then we had AR, VR. Now is the mixed reality. The mixed reality is, like the previous speaker said, it's VR, AR put together. So mixed reality is real environment, just like the augmented reality, superimposed with digital objects. But in this case, you can interact with those objects. When I mean interact, you can actually touch them. You can turn them around. Just imagine you have a 3D projection of something in the air, and you can be able to, like, that is what an MRO does. It's a real environment, digital objects in the air that you can interact with. So in terms of the AR and MR, the devices are not really that different in terms of physical look, but they differ in terms of what do we call it? In terms of functionality. If you can notice, the AR does almost everything on these use cases except maintenance and repair. Now, how does MR help with maintenance and repair? Now, with MR, it's easy now for factory workers to actually carry out this repair either remotely or on site, but hands-free. It's like you putting on a glass and you're watching a tutorial. While the tutorial is being displayed here, you're working on this. So your hands, you're not holding anything physical in the of course, holding a phone in the factory environment is not really ideal. So with MR, you get the advantage of hands-free and interacting with those particular objects that are being superimposed to your environment. So this is an example of what I'm saying. Like one of the mostly used MRO, the only MRO now is the Microsoft HoloLens. As you can see in this factory, they were using Microsoft HoloLens to determine some settings. Now you can use it to monitor each of the production line, each machineries, to see which one is offline, which one is online, which one is having defects. We'll come to this in full later also. Then this was the tutorial I was telling you about. Like this lady now, she's carrying out a maintenance and she's watching a video. She's not been distracted. Her two hands are in use. She's using her two hands to do her job, but she's still getting all the virtual information that she can get, and it's not blocking anything. So still on the digital technologies, we're talking about digital twin. Digital twin is a virtual copy or a virtual copy of physical assets, product or processes. Now, digital twin can be anything. It can be a virtual copy, or it can be a virtual copy of this building I am in. It can be a virtual copy of a factory, a virtual copy of just a supply line, a virtual copy of a product. It can be anything. But why digital twin is good, is taking us to the next revolution, is it enables us to do so much more. Because with digital twin and mixed reality, factories are now being able to create a replica of the entire process in a digital twin, connect sensors to their factory, and these sensors send these messages, send this data to the digital twin. So it's more like the factory manager is getting a real-time analysis of the factory at each time. Because when you're looking at the digital twin, you're seeing exactly what is going on in the factory. For example, you have sensors that are monitoring temperature, the air humidity or pressure, or the working of a machine. At a glance of, just as a glance of the eye, you can easily pinpoint what is wrong, where it's, what exactly is the problem, and it can easily be fixed without bringing about too much downtime. So there are things about this. The digital twin collects data. It analyzes, like I told you, the digital twin, and there's the real world, but they are both connected because there are so many sensors on the real world object that you created, and those sensors are being sent to the cloud, which is connected to the digital twin. So you collect data, it is analyzed in the cloud. After that, you can now perform simulations and predictions. Now, simulations can be in any form. It could be, okay, this supply, this production line that we've created, is it going to withstand this and that? Is it going to withstand that? So you try so many scenarios in the digital world. Now you're not spending money on building the entire production line before trying it out. You create in the digital world, then you run simulations to come up with the best solutions. Now, when you've come up with the best solution, now you can also make predictions about, there's what they call the remaining useful life. You can make predictions about the state of a machinery. You can make predictions about the rate of productions, and you can also visualize the inside. Yeah, exactly. So the farm manager can get a virtual view of everything that is going on in the factory using this digital twin. Then from getting the visual insight of everything, getting the key performance indicators, it can now make data-driven decisions, not just trial and error decisions like the smart factories or the conventional factories used to do. Data-driven decisions, then optimize what? Production. So I'll come back to this digital production line I told you about. You started production somewhere along the line because you're using the digital twin, and there's that section where we should talk about the predictions and simulation. The system has been able to predict that this particular robot or this particular object or this particular product or this particular machine at some point is going to have a problem. So what happens there is, because the factory manager already knows, there is a way he can incorporate automated, either automated repair or automated request for an external, for an additional part. So by the time this happens somewhere here, you already gotten the delivery, you've already fixed the product, and you have less of a downtime. So for this case study, I'll be walking you through a video of, like I told you, BMW and NVIDIA. I'll be walking you through a video of BMW and NVIDIA, where, just give me a minute if I can get this to play. Okay, I've seen it. So this is what BMW calls factory of the future. So it's a factory built by BMW and NVIDIA using the NVIDIA Omniverse. So what they actually did here was they've extended this to 3 of the factories as at early this year. What they did here was they created a digital copy of their factory. They ran millions of simulations. Now, when you're running simulations in the digital, in the digital world, you have the power of AI, which we'll be talking about probably by our tomorrow speaker. You have the power of AI, so you can run millions and millions of simulations. You don't have to be running them manually yourself. So what they did here was they ran so many simulations. As you can see, these 2 guys on your picture, they're planning a factory, and they are from 2 different places. So they are trying to make sure that the factory is both okay for both humans and robots, trying to make sure that objects are not placed too high or too low. But all these things they are doing it in from two different locations and in the virtual world. And it's like they're working hand in hand with each other. Now, after that, I will show you where they're using using AI and what they call the AI human. You can simulate human activities. Like I told you, you can simulate human activities to know the way objects in the factories are positioned. If they are positioned too high, too low, does it cause back pain over a period of time, and things like that. So at the end of the day, when all these simulations and all these assumptions is done in the digital world, they can now implement it in the physical world, and you find out that people work less, machines work more, because people are now working more intelligently, and machines are learning to work with them. So in conclusion, there has been a lot. There's a serious ongoing research on how this metaverse can be applied to manufacturing. But like we've already seen, the industry has been using from VR down to digital twin, which just became a thing a couple of years back. And the overall idea of this project is, with our partner universities, we should come up with a way whereby factory workers or factory managers can be able to access their factories virtually, create this kind of environment whereby repairs are automated, deliveries are automated, maintenance are automated, and it will be easy for them to work from the comfort of their home and still function as if they are at the plant itself. And these things can only be possible with more study into the metaverse, which include digital twin and MRO especially. So while all these are still a bit away or a bit not within reach or not yet actualized, it is not that far within reach, because what digital twin and MRO has been doing has defied most logic, and we think it can play a critical role in metaverse, which is why so many of these companies like You Here Tomorrow, most of the major car companies are going into it. So that will be all for my presentation for now. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gabriel. Thank you very much, Mr. Gabriel. Thank you very much, Mr. Gabriel. I can see the comments. I can see the comments. That is an insightful presentation, very insightful presentation. And okay, can we say digital when it's majorly virtual? The last question. So just, Mr. Gabriel, please take the last question so that we can go to the next presenter.
The last question, thank you so much. Can we say digital twin is majorly virtual while metaverse mixes of both virtual and physical? Yeah, I hope everyone. Yeah, I think that would be a very simple explanation because digital twin is fully virtual, and the metaverse, like I told you, we're trying to bridge the physical limitations, like bridge that gap between the physical world and the virtual world, make them work. The end goal is bring physical and virtual together seamlessly, working hand in hand. That is what metaverse is all about. Yeah, that's a simple way you can put it.
Wonderful. But don't always forget, we said enabling technology is very important. I think if you also want to have a good understanding of what Mr. Gabriel has presented, I will encourage everyone in this workshop, please type NVIDIA Omniverse. NVIDIA Omniverse. When you type it in just Google it and don't bother about the technicalities. Just read the story around it. NVIDIA Omniverse. It will give you a wrap-up of what Mr. Gabriel is talking about.
Just one last question. Is digital twin a two-way traffic? Yes, digital twin is now considered a two-way traffic because initially you just create the objects, you just create a virtual object, but now you can actually connect that virtual object with the real object using sensors. So when you use sensors, it now means you can send information to the digital twin, and that digital twin connected to the cloud, you can now send it back from the cloud back to I will call it the end user. So somehow you can say it's a two-way.
Thank you, Mr. Gabriel. So we go on interlude, so we can prepare for the next lecture on blockchain. Just a brief interlude, then we'll go for the next lecture. Welcome, everybody. We actually decided to give you that feeling of what the future is in Metaverse. We have done Noble to introduction to Metaverse. we went ahead to talk about metaverse application to the industry, manufacturing particularly. If you listen to the first presenter, he talks about the enabling technologies, or technologies that definitely are accidental or are instrumental to what metaverse is all about. The next speaker is going to talk about one of those technologies. He's also going to talk about one of our most famous research outputs from our lab, Network System Laboratory, Kumoh National Institute of Technology, under the able directorship of our Professor Dongson Kim. We are talking about blockchain technology. So Mr. Xavier, take us through the Pure Wallet, blockchain.
Okay, it's good to have all of you here. Good day. So I hope you can see my screen and then you can hear my voice. So today I will present this research work. It is called Pure Wallet, and Pure Wallet is a blockchain technology that enables transaction for offline situations. So this is the content of what I'll be presenting. First of all, I'll give you the general overview, then the proposed model, the performance of this model, and the conclusion and future work. So here I have two network designs. On the left side is a centralized network, and on the right side is a decentralized network. Most of the network you know about is designed in a centralized form. Giving you, for example, when you post on Facebook, everything goes from your phone to Facebook, then before it goes to whoever that is in your friend list. And in a similar way, when you make transactions with your mobile app, let's assume you use any of the bank apps, you make your transfer. It first of all goes to the bank's website or their platform, and then it now goes to the person that is about to receive. The problem with this method of networking is that if anything happens to the bank platform, the network is in trouble. So there is a new technology, not really new, but it's gaining momentum recently, and it's called a decentralized network. Now, decentralized network is such that you can transfer directly to people without having a central entity that controls all the activity. And this decentralized network is popular with the technology blockchain, or some of you know Bitcoin. So now I'd like to ask a question. Do you think that blockchain is the future? I think many of us will answer yes. Some will say, I don't know. And I would like to tell you that it's part of the future if you are still part of those who are not sure. These are some of the popular blockchain technologies that we are aware of, mostly because of cryptocurrency. We have the Bitcoin and Ethereum, the other ones around there, you can see them. These are really interesting technologies, and we want to look at some of the limitations of these current technologies and try to improve on them and even enhance them to be very efficient for a metaverse environment. What if I tell you you can transfer cryptocurrency in an offline situation? That is without instant connection to the internet. It may sound off because you are all aware that all the connections or all the transfers you can make on cryptocurrencies currently, on the blockchain currently, have to need you to connect to the internet instantly. And again, I want to ask you another. What if I tell you you can transfer cryptocurrency in less than 1 second? because if some of you have tried using this technology, you find out that it takes time to transfer from one account to another. Now, there is something we've done quite interesting that makes the transfer over blockchain, cryptocurrency, as you see in the example, Ethereum, to happen in an offline situation and even in a very short time. So now, what did we do? Initially, blockchain was introduced to be a technology that helps to bank the unbanked. Bitcoin was the pioneer cryptocurrency. And you ask yourself, if it is there to help bank the unbanked and help everybody have a decentralized connection to the payment platform or to money, many people who do not have access to bank may not have access to good internet. So how can we make it possible for people who are in very rural areas or like places where internet is not as efficient as is in the city to also embrace this new technology? So we decided to mimic the design of normal day-to-day use of cash. Normally, if I want to go to the market or to make transaction with anyone, and I require to do it offline, let's assume I don't have a mobile app, or mobile app will not work where I'm going. I usually go to the bank, withdraw the money, take the cash, then I meet the person, make my transactions, and then the person takes my money, maybe goes to his or her own branch or bank, and then puts it in his account. Now, following these same steps, we decided to make something that happens, that makes it possible for blockchain or Ethereum or any blockchain cryptocurrency to be used in an offline situation. First of all, it withdraws the cryptocurrency from a particular wallet, sends it to a platform called a token manager, and the token manager generates a token. Now, this token can be used in an offline environment to make transactions. So people can send cryptocurrency and receive cryptocurrency without having access to internet. It can be done even through text messages, over NFC, Bluetooth, any means that you use to transfer from one device to another, and it can happen without connecting to the internet. And the person takes the token and withdraws it from the token manager, and he or she receives it in his or her account. Now, there are some offline efforts, but it's nothing like we've done. Some products called Blue Wallet tries to make a hard token that keeps the primary key of an account in an offline situation. However, this is just to keep the primary key. It cannot be used for transaction in an offline situation. You have to still get to the internet to be able to use your crypto in a Blue Wallet. Then there is another attempt that is called GoTenor. It creates a mesh network where there is no internet. It creates another connection that is not the internet directly, but that connection will have to link to the internet to be able to make connection or to make transactions. So it is still dependent on internet, because if it cannot connect to internet, it will not make a transaction. So now we'll go to our proposed model. So in the normal blockchain scenario, when you want to transfer from a sender to a receiver, it looks like you're transferring from Mr. A to Mr. B. But however, what happens at the background is that the Mr. A that is sending, or the sender in this case, sends the cryptocurrency, and there are some miners at the back who mines that transaction before a receiver receives it. But in the front, you think, oh, he sent from sender to receiver. However, there is a miner that does something before it is received at the other end. But in our own situation, look at what we tried to do here. So in our model, the sender, first of all, sends the cryptocurrency into a token manager platform. And this token manager platform is a decentralized platform. And when the token is received, in this case, let's assume it's Ethereum, you send an Ethereum, let's say 1 or 2 Ethereum, you send it into the token manager, then the token manager generates the hash for you. The hash is in your device, maybe your mobile phone or your computer or anywhere. You can send this hash or offline token to the receiver. via any technology. You can send it as text message, you can send it as Bluetooth, you can send it over NFC. Any offline situation that is not connected to the internet, you can send it from the sender to the receiver. And when the receiver receives this offline token, he or she sends it back to the token manager, and the token manager releases the coin to him or her. So now this is little animation on how the process goes. First of all, you need to have the token manager or our Pure Wallet platform ready on the internet. And the sender, first of all, takes a particular amount of cryptocurrency. Here, we're trying to show 5 Ether, that's 5 Ethereum, sends it to the platform, the Pure Wallet platform, and the Pure Wallet platform gives back an offline token, which we call a hash. This hash is present in the sender's account, and the sender can use it to do an offline transaction, sending it from his or her own device to the receiver. When the receiver has received this hash, he or she sends it back to the Pure Wallet platform and receives the equivalent of that offline token, which in this animation is 5 Ether, and the transaction is completed. So this is what we did here. And you may ask again, this is the situation. How are you sure that what you send to someone offline is valuable? Can someone not send something that is forged or any piece of information and pretend it is the value and you can't verify it? We know this is possible, and we decided to go ahead to solve this problem by having a new security model that is called Savior multi-hashing. This hashing is going to happen like this. So what happens here is that when the crypto is sent, the platform creates a hash and then creates another and then creates another. So we have like 3 steps of hashes from the same input, which is the initial cryptocurrency. When the first hash is generated, it is given to the sender. The second uses the first hash as an input to generate the second one. And then the second one is used as an input to generate the third one. So during transactions, you can use the second hash, which is in this case, hash 1B, to verify, compare it with what the receiver has, because the receiver already has access to hash 1C. It's a public information, so anyone can download it. And when you take a hash 1B, you can use it and generate hash 1C. And being able to generate hash 1C means that the hash or the token that is about to be sent is valuable. So by using this, we were able to verify the value of any offline token, and we're able to also make it secure such that the transaction can be done without compromising the value of hash 1A of offline token. So the next on the slide is the performance of our model. Here is a little comparison of our model with some of the popular existing technologies. Bitcoin, I know many of you would have tried it. Bitcoin takes over 10 minutes to complete one block. And if you are using something like an exchange, maybe Binance or Ethereum, Kraken or any other one, you will find out that there are so many verification, or there are a lot of blocks that need to come in before your crypto is deposited. So this 10 minutes is like the fastest you can get it. Sometimes it goes to like 30 minutes, 1 hour or more. And Ethereum, the same thing. It takes longer than this 15 seconds, but 15 seconds is the time it takes to create a block. And Solana, and you can see every one of them, how they have some time they consume before you can complete a transaction. But in many cases, you spend almost 10 times this time if the network is busy. However, the Pure Wallet architecture allows to start a transaction, complete the verification, and transfer it within 0.6 seconds. This is from our experimental results, and the verification is 100% accurate. So there is no forgery in the process. So using this technology, it is possible to make an offline transaction. Here, I want to show you a little video that is the use of our Pure Wallet platform to make a transfer of Ethereum from an account to another account. In this case, it's a video that is made using a computer. However, this is how the technology works. So let me try to play this. Oh, sorry. Can't play it. Okay. So you can see that at the beginning, the account has 7.99 Ether here. And we invoke the Pure Wallet model, and we decide to transfer out of that 7.99, we decide to transfer 5. So we deposit the 5 Ether into the Pure Wallet platform. And this is the confirmation of the transaction. So when this transaction is completed, we have a hash. You can see at the bottom, the hash. So we copy this hash and we send it to whoever we want to transfer to. So this can be sent over any technology, Bluetooth, WhatsApp, text message. Now, when we send it, we send the hash and we send the address of the person who sent it to us. Now, the receiver will have to use that information to withdraw. So you've already seen that 5 Ether has been sent. Now, this is the receiver's side of the platform. He takes the hash and the account information and puts it into the space provided for it and confirms. So you can see at the beginning of that transaction, he had 5 Ether in his account, but by withdrawing the extra 5 Ether that was deposited by the other person, it's now showing 10 Ether here. So it's a successful technology to be able to make blockchain transaction over any offline technology. So now you may wonder, what is the relationship, or how can we connect the Pure Wallet and the Metaverse? Because the Metaverse is mimicking the real world, this is a problem that happens in the real world, and it's likely to also arise in the Metaverse, where a lot of transactions will be taking place in the Metaverse. However, we need it to be fast, quick, like secure, and still quick. People should be able to move around in a Metaverse, make a transaction without spending the long period of time, like 10 minutes or 30 minutes, to verify one transaction when it can be done quickly. So by using the Pure Wallet architecture, we hope to replicate it even for the Metaverse environment, such that someone who wants to make a transaction in a Metaverse environment can be able to complete it quickly in terms of time, such that it can be completed within seconds or less than a second. So that is the major thing that technology have been able to do, and I'm excited about what is going to also result in the future. So in conclusion, you can see that our model has been able to, we provided you with a novel model that allows for offline transaction, and it's possible for transactions to happen within or in less than 1 second. However, there are still things that we want to do in the future. We want to test this technology for a large-scale environment where there are millions of transactions on it. Things like a real-world adoption where it can compare to something like PayPal or Visa that has millions and hundreds of thousands of transactions each day. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it's more than 1 million, maybe up to 10. And then we also want to have a way to divide the offline token. So you notice that I sent 5 Ether and I withdrew 5 Ether, but what's in a situation where we want to do maybe 1 Ether? So that is some of the future work we want to do on this technology. And again, we want to extend this technology to blockchain like to cryptocurrencies that do not have the smart contract technology on them. So if we're able to get this to happen to something like Bitcoin or Ripple or some of this blockchain technology that do not have smart contract, it will be also a breakthrough. So that is the end of my presentation. And these are some of the references that you can go through to see a detailed information of some of the things I have talked about. Actually, about the Pure Wallet, we've made a publication on it, and it is the first one. So the name of the paper is Blockchain Side Implementation of Pure Wallet and Offline Transaction Architecture. It is published in ICT Express. And yeah, if you follow this link, you can, it's an open access, you can get to it and use it. So thank you. If you have any questions, I would like to answer them.
Yeah, Mr. Savior, thank you so much for the presentation. I want you to please, can you copy the link from your PowerPoint and paste in the chat box so that people don't need to search. They just go straight and click on it so that they don't waste their time. First question. So open your mic.
Okay.
The first person is asking if what informed the name Pure Wallet, and is Pure Wallet a two-way traffic transaction? And how do you prevent double spending of coins?
Okay. The Pure Wallet is, if I understand your question clearly, you're asking if it's a two-way, like between the receiver and the sender. In this case, the demonstration I showed you is not a two-way. It's not a two-way transaction. It's one way. It goes from the sender to the receiver. However, some of the technologies that we want to implement on it in the future, we have to make it two-way, such that there can be communication between the two sides, the sender and the receiver, during the verification and sending of the offline token. So the demonstration is not two-way, but the eventual completed work, when it's ready for the metaverse and even for the day-to-day use of some of us here, it will be a two-way communication. And during that time, we want to create the application that will enable security in terms of behavior of an application, such that when you use the Pure Wallet architecture, you cannot make double spending. Like the receiver is the one that removes the value from the sender. So the sender doesn't have it any longer to use after it has been given to the receiver. Okay, concerning the name of the model, the model is just, we wanted to create something that looks pure like your wallet. You have it in your pocket and you can use it at any time. That is just the simple explanation. We wanted to create something that is really in your hand and you can use it without the limitation of internet. Any other questions?
Somebody want to know about NFC, Blue Wallet, Token Manager, Hans. I think this will be difficult to do in a workshop. These are terms associated with blockchain. Just little Google.
If you go through the paper, you may be able to get many of the answers you are looking for. I cannot give you detailed explanation of all these questions, but maybe the paper will do some of the answering.
So, Mr. Winner, please. Mr. Winner, please bear with us. Just go through the paper. The paper will answer some of your questions. most of the questions we'll be taking here are questions that just have 2-3 minutes reply because of time constraints. You know, even though this is morning time in Nigeria, that is not applicable to us over here. So we are trying to make sure that everybody is treated fairly. Okay, thank you, Mr. Savior. Now we want to thank you, everyone. We want to, any other question that drops now, I will just copy them. Tomorrow we will reply to them all because we have less than 15 minutes to end today's workshop. But before I do that, I don't know if Professor Sam, I don't know if Professor Sam is still online. Professor Sam, the Vice Chancellor, Benson Daoza University. We actually, if he's still online, please, maybe any of the rep, Professor Simaje, please, you can chat me up. You can chat me privately to carry me along. So now we want to do a photo session. Yes, we know some persons are not comfortable with their pictures, being taken on online meetings like this. But if you are comfortable with it, please, we want to plead with as many persons as possible. Can you on your video so we could see your face for photo sessions? I also want to assure you that the representatives of the universities will get all the representatives, those representing Benson Daoza University, University of Ilorin, Babcock University, and the rest of them. You will get the video, you will get the full video of this Zoom program. You will also get the photo sessions. And also, if you need anything with respect to this conference, just send a mail. Send a mail to that same Creativia email, that same email address that was used to communicate you. Just send a mail to us. We will attend to your needs. I'm seeing my brothers from Futo. Don't worry, I'm also from Futo too. Just what we want to do is, if you want to get to us, we cannot attend to 400 and something persons at the same time. So what we want to do is, if you are in different clusters, we can attend to you in clusters. So, please, I want to enable you all now, don't worry. I want to enable you, I will enable you now, don't worry, I will do that now, just a little bit, seconds. Okay. I think it's working now. It's working. Please let us change everything. We want to have a closing session. Want to have a closing session, want to have a video session. But if it's against your personal policy, no problem. You can close your video if it's against your personal, if it's against your policy. But if it does not infringe on your rights, please, you can on your video. So screen number 1, screen 2. Let's go for screen 3. Screen 3 people are not, they don't like video. All right, let's go to 4. 4 don't like video. All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I don't know if Professor Obona of Babcock is online.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So Professor Obona, please, you have just 2 minutes to say hi on behalf of Babcock University.
Thank you, Dr. Wakama, and thank you, the KIT team, and thank you for to all of us. It's been quite a good interaction, and the idea is a good one, so we can all join to move the world forward, and in particular Africa and Nigeria. We hope that this will go on, and whatever we can derive to help humanity, we shall all do. Thank you for setting this up. Looking forward to better things ahead. And to Babcock team members and all attendees, thank you for attending. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Bona. Professor Alexandra Simaje, in the absence of our Vice Chancellor, Benson Dauza University, can you also thank the attendees of today on behalf of Benson Dauza University?
Okay, thank you very much. I'd like to tell you that the Vice Chancellor would have loved to stay till this time, but he had to go for another meeting to attend to some pressing issues. So on behalf of our Vice Chancellor, Professor Sam Gubadia, I'd like to thank the organizers of this workshop. I'd like to thank the participating universities for having the courage to come out and to be part of this project. I want to thank the over 100 attendees at this workshop today for making out the time, demonstrating their willingness and interest in this project. I want to thank the center, the ICT Center in Kumoh, South Korea, for coming up with this novel project. I want to believe that when we all team up as we have started today, that this project will be a reality. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you so much, Professor Simaje. You have been very, very supportive at the background to see that today is a success. I also want to invite the University of Ilorin, Professor Wahab, or whoever is representing Professor Wahab. Please, can you thank the attendees on behalf of University of Ilorin? And as he's doing that, I want to, yeah, go ahead. Who, Professor Wahab, or whoever is representing University of Ilorin, please.
Okay, this is Dr. Oluwafemi Oyetunde Adeleke. On behalf of the Vice Chancellor of the University of Ilorin, Professor Age Abdulkarim, we want to appreciate the organizers of this program. We are grateful that you sent a collaboration invitation to the university, and we are so appreciative of it. We want to also appreciate all efforts that have been put in to make sure that the program is a success. And we are thankful too for all the participants. It's quite an exciting thing that the focus is on Africa. And we hope that with it, we can really push the continent forward and also be part and parcel of the developed world. Again, thank you very much, the organizers and every participant. We hope we continue to have a very good time as the workshop progresses. Thank you.
Thank you so much, University of Ilorin. I want to say that we are very much aware of so many other institutions that are present here, but permit us to stop at this level because officially, by power of Memorandum of Understanding, these are the three institutions that are partnering with Kumoh National Institute of Technology, Gumi, in Korea on this project. I am aware of other universities, and by tomorrow, we shall take reasonable steps to also recognize those universities. I am doing this to guide as many of us back in Nigeria who may want to be part of the future of this, because this workshop is first workshop. It means there'll be second, third, fourth, fifth, and as many workshops until Metaverse becomes a reality and Nigeria play a critical role with partnership in South Korea. To that effect, we wish to encourage whoever wishes to be part of any aspect of the research in Metaverse. If you are in the southeastern Nigeria or south Nigeria, try to get in touch with Benson Hauser University. If you are in the southwestern Nigeria, get in touch with Babcock University. And the entire northern Nigeria, get in touch with University of Ilorin. We didn't do this because of Nigerian map. We do it for convenience and for ability to coordinate research processes. So forgive us if in your judgment, the mapping is not enough, but that is not important. What is important is that you have 3 universities in Nigeria. As a researcher, as a startup, as an investor, as whatever you are in Nigeria and you have interest in Metaverse research, you have these 3 universities to work with, or you have us here in South Korea to work with. The choice is yours, but make sure you don't wait for the end product of the research. Be at the foundation of the research. That is the only way to be competitive in this 21st century. You all can agree with me that any country that relies on consuming technology, that country is not serious. So we cannot be relying on consuming technology. We have to be part of the baking of technology. And now Metaverse is at the incubation level. We should be part of the baking level. That is the aim of this collaboration. And South Korea is ready to partner with Nigeria. Our laboratory and our university, we are ready to partner with universities in Nigeria to make it a reality. Keep in touch with us tomorrow, same time. We promise you that we will also be strict with our time. This is 5 minutes behind the time. We are grateful to you all, and we hope to see you tomorrow. Goodbye, and see you again tomorrow for the second stage and second day of the workshop. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, and bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.